In other global news, tensions in the Red Sea are indeed simmering. An Indian-flagged crude oil tanker in the Red Sea has also reportedly been hit by an attack drone fired by the Houthi militants. Well, according to the U.S. military, the Gabon-owned tanker MV Sai Baba sent a distress call to a U.S. warship in the area. The U.S. Naval Forces Central Command has said that no injuries have been reported from the strike as of now. Well, the U.S. Naval Forces Central Command also responded to distress calls from another ship which came under an attack. This after a Norwegian-flagged, owned and operated oil tanker reported a near miss of a Houthi drone attack. In yet another similar incident in the southern Red Sea area, 4 drones headed towards a U.S. destroyer were shot down on Saturday. They were reportedly launched from Houthi-controlled areas of Yemen. The Iran-aligned Houthis, who control much of Yemen, have disrupted world trade for weeks now. They have attacked ships passing through the Bab el-Mandab Strait at the southern end of the Red Sea in what they say is a response to Israel's war in Gaza. And for the latest, we are now being joined on the phone line with our principal diplomatic correspondent, Siddhant Sibal. Hi, Siddhant. Now, there seems to be an escalation of the Red Sea crisis. An Indian-flagged oil tanker in the Red Sea has reportedly been hit by an attack drone fired by the Houthi militants, while on the other hand, a Norwegian-flagged, owned and operated oil tanker has also reported a near miss of a Houthi drone attack. What more can you tell us on the latest attacks?
Well, it's a clear spillover of the Red Sea crisis, a spillover that is, of course, going to impact India. We saw on Saturday 2 attacks, one off the coast of India, the MV Pluto case, and another one which you have pointed out. Now, in this specific case, MV Sai Baba, it's being managed by an Indian company. It has all the crew, which is Indian. The attack was unsuccessful, and now the vessel is heading towards India. In this case, we saw the U.S. side intervening and, of course, making sure the vessel is safe. But essentially, there is a major escalation. The Houthis have said that they are going to target any vessels they think are going or coming from Israel. So essentially, for Indian interest, this is going to impact in future in a major way. Essentially, we know that India gets its major trade from that part of the world in terms of food prices, in terms of crude prices, and this is going to impact the inflation, especially global inflation.
Right, so that it also looks like the Houthi militants are not only attacking the industrial tankers, but also U.S. carriers at the moment.
They think that should be targeted, whether it's oil tankers, whether it is crude oil vessels, whether it is, of course, Navy petrol vessels as well. But essentially, the big worry is the escalation that has seen now. We recently saw a data being released by the Information Fusion Center of the Indian Ocean region. This is an Indian Navy body, and this body basically pointed out that just last week how there were 9 incidences, and we have seen just yesterday 2 instances. So it looks like a major escalation we are heading towards.
Right, Siddhant, but also talk to us about the nature of the attack on the Indian-flagged oil tanker and the Norwegian-flagged tanker, the 2 latest incidents which just took place. Were they similar to the missile strike caused on board a merchant ship in the Indian Ocean, which took place yesterday?
Essentially, this was a drone strike. What we have seen in the Red Sea area is drone strikes, but we have also seen missile strikes. Now, these missile strikes can happen using drones as well. What happened off the coast of India was a strike, a projectile strike, a missile strike, which could have been used from any platform, whether it's drone or whether it's any other ship. Now, Pentagon has come out with its own statement, but so far India hasn't come out with any statement what they think is responsible for this attack. The MV Pluto is being brought to the port of Mumbai by Monday, and then we'll get to know more details about that attack. But this specific attack, the MV Sai Baba, this clearly has the Houthis imprint on it.
Right, Siddhant, we're also getting news coming in that Wickam the Wickam ship has reached the area where the unclaimed missile strike which caused a fire on board a merchant ship in the Indian Ocean yesterday.
Well, yes, the Wickam vessel, which is an Indian Coast Guard vessel, reached the site yesterday and was able to, of course, make sure and ascertain the safety of the crew. Now, as we have been talking about, a big focus is to bring the vessel to the port of India, to Mumbai port. And we also know India has moved its warship as well, the Indian Navy. And when the attack took place yesterday morning at 7:30 a.m., the Information Fusion Center played a key role in giving out real-time information. So both the Indian Navy and the Indian Coast Guard sent out their platforms, including Dornier, to ascertain the situation. Later on, they sent out their vessels, including the Indian Navy sending out the warship.
Right, Siddhant. Also, the US this morning itself shot down 4 drones launched from Houthi militants, and this just comes few hours after it released. The Pentagon released a statement accusing Iran of attacking the tanker. Meanwhile, Iran has rejected all US allegations.
Well, yes, we know that it's the geopolitics in the region that is worrisome. Now, the U.S. has claimed that it was Iran from where the strike happened. Now, we also know the Iranian point. The Iranian side has dismissed, saying about the Houthis doing the attack, saying they have nothing to do with it. But so it's larger confrontation between the U.S. and Iran, which is happening in the region now. But the Indian side, what they believe is responsible for the attack on MV Pluto, and also what is the Indian interest when it comes to safeguarding its ships, the movement of commercial vessels in the Red Sea region. Now, we also know that the Indian Prime Minister has spoken to the Israeli Prime Minister, and he had backed the freedom of navigation of commercial vessels.
Right, so now my last question to you. What kind of implications will these latest attacks have on the global shipping route, more so on the vessels coming towards India?
The first major implication is that the major shipping companies have rerouted the movement of the ship from the Red Sea region. Now, what's the direct impact is they're taking longer route. That means increase in the time and the cost of any goods that might be used or being transferred using these vessels. Adds into the cost of the product, and that adds into inflationary pressure. So we will see increase in global price high because of various conflicts, whether it's the Ukraine conflict or whether it's the Hamas-Israel conflict. And essentially, the big focus will be how to make sure that there can be some de-escalation in the crisis. But so far, looking at the scale of the attack, it doesn't look like.
Yes, Siddhant. Thanks very much for joining us in WION and sharing insights with us on this story.